Hey, Shalom, Makim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. I'm going to like to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel abroad, living up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a quick lesson through the spirit. End time headlines. I encourage you brothers to watch, to not subscribe, but to look up this particular website, because they have some very, very on point articles that's related to Bible prophecy. And you know that we extrapolate the truth from these articles and we filter it through the scriptures, because that is the job of a man of the Lord, a prophet. Okay, breaking down the precepts and relaying this information and giving it to the people so they may be prepared. Okay, so it says the U.S. and China against Russia and China. It says the stage has been set for World War III. Okay, and that's funny how once upon a time, that was a mystery, because, majority of the scholars now, they understand that the lands of Gog and Magog, being the Russians today, which were ancient Japhetic nations, but the Russians today are the biblical Edomites. Okay, but Gog, Magog, and so forth, those are lands of ancient Japhites, which were actually the real Europeans, which were people of color. Okay, but now the scholars, they figured it out, because when you look at the land of Gog today, on a map is basically Russia. Okay, and that's how you were able to dictate Bible prophecy and to be able to put it into layman's terms, because these particular nations, though they have been dispersed and Esau has drove out many nations through his conquerage during the time of the Greeks, Esau, Edom has took over. Okay, and that's why we're able to say that we know that Ezekiel 38 is talking about the Russians. Okay, but it says, it is kind of like watching a really bad Hollywood disaster movie slowly playing out, except in this case, billions of people could end up dead. And he's absolutely right, because the scriptures say that the slain of the Lord should be many, because you're going to have a draft that's going to be reinstated here in the West, because you got people they're defecting from the military. They're getting discharged, they're getting kicked out. Jake is going AWOL. You got a lot of deserters out there, which the penalty for desertion of the military is death. Okay, but it says it's kind of like a really bad Hollywood disaster movie slowly playing out. But it says, except in this case, billions of people could end up dead. But it says, thanks to the endless bumbling of the Biden administration, Russia and China have been pushed into each other's arms. And now they are seen determined to confront the Western powers together. And you know what? It ain't even Biden, man. This is the determination of who you call God, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Okay, who you call Christ, Yahweh Shai. This is their determination. This is their plan, because this is the plan to usher in the new world order. So the Lord is going to put a halt to it. Okay, so this is Bible prophecy playing out. This is Ezekiel 38. And it's beautiful, man, because this is mainstream news. Like when you look on the news, you turn on, they're always speaking on the war of Ukraine. Well, Ukraine this, Ukraine that. Ukraine, or the Russians invaded Ukraine. Ukraine, Russia. This is mainstream news, to the point that the average Jake know that we're at war, or they're at war. I won't say we, because we don't vouch for this wicked place, but nonetheless, this is prophecy. It says for those of you that have been not paying attention, the apocalyptic alliances that we have been anticipating for years have now formed. It says it is going to be the U.S. and Europe on one side. Yep, that's true, because you got NATO and the EU, and then you got the Eastern Bloc, which is Russia, China. Okay, you got Iran, you have nations, you have Turkey, and Ezekiel goes into that. But it says you're going to have Russia and China on the other. And it says, and all the marbles are at stake, and both sides will have plenty of nuclear weapons, which hence the Lord said he was going to bring fire upon the earth. It says on Tuesday, China's top diplomat, Wang Yi, publicly declared that his nation was ready to join the forces with the Russian side. So there you go. This is Bible prophecy, man. It says the People's Republic of China is ready to join forces with Russia to decisively stand up for the national interests and promote mutually beneficial cooperations in all areas. Wang Yi, the director of the Office in Foreign Affairs Commission of the Communist Party of China's Central Committee, said on Tuesday, as he met with Russian Security Council Secretary Nikolai Patrushev. It says during a virtual meeting At the end of last year, our leaders, Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin, came up with a plan to further develop of the bilateral relations. Okay, it says we are ready to join forces with the Russian side in accordance with the high-level agreements to decisively stand up for national interests and virtues and promote mutually beneficial corporations in all areas, he said. Okay, so they're basically getting tired of the West. Okay, they're tired of Western hegemony, as we all are, because Western hegemony promotes nothing but liberalism, feminism, okay, socialism, the so-called democracy, which this is not a democracy. This is not a people's republic. They promote slavery, oppression, feminism, okay, women's lib, okay, they promote everything that the Most High Yahweh Shai is against, okay, and they're tired of it, man, okay, this Western hegemony, you're taxed to death, you know, like this guy Biden, he turns his back on Ohio, but he goes over there and support Ukraine, stated that he snuck through the back door, like he snuck over there and some shit, but basically, he don't give a fuck about his people over here. But all you simple ass jakes that voted for him, now you're looking at him like, oh wow, you know, we thought Biden was gonna do good. Why? Because he promised you a couple more $100 in child support. Why? Because he promised you stimulus checks. Yet this man basically printed out billions of dollars in stimulus money to give to you just to inflate your economy the next year. How is that gonna even be beneficial to your livelihoods? Okay, because the average American, what they don't know is that they're getting ready to get laid off, man, because these markets are collapsing. You know, like these private sector businesses, they're not going to survive because a lot of times the private sector and the public sector, they're going to go hand in hand, mainstream, okay, because this is the push for the New World Order, okay, and to promote that global system, that global tracking system, which is going to combine all things under one banner. Okay, it's not going to be the private corporate or public sector. It's all going to be one conglomerate under the elite bankers, predicated on if you get that seat up or not. You know? And that's what we've been trying to tell you, Jakes. But, you know, you keep playing with the Most High. All right, give me 1 second. Wash my hands. You know, you keep playing with how about you and how shot. You keep playing with him, you're going to find yourself in an untimely predicament, man. All right, but it's a lot here, man. To wash my hands. But anyway, we're gonna get into some precepts real quick. But I want to read this last paragraph. It says, Chinese leaders, Xi Jinping is preparing to visit Moscow for a summit with Russian President Russian's president in the coming months, according to the people familiar with the plan, as Vladimir Putin wages war in Ukraine and betrays himself as a standard bearer against the U.S.-led global order. And to be honest with y'all, man, honestly, none of these countries are really, I mean, as far as these leaders, they're all puppets at the end of the day. Okay, they're all doing the bidding of the elite bankers, Esau Edom. Okay, like Putin and Biden, they don't really have any real hatred or animosity, but they're all on board for this new world order. Okay, just you people that's in the dark about what the hell is really going on, because you believe in your news, you believe in your democracy, you believe in all your accolades, so to speak, which is just nothing but a way to give you hush-hush money, man. The average person don't really know what the hell is going on, especially you jakes. You jakes don't really know, okay, because you're not informed, you're not enlightened. They keep you down by social media, they keep you down by bread and circus, they keep you down by all forms of entertainment, which when entertainment and Jake, shit, when Jake is entertained, man, they pretty much practically they back to sleep. You know, because that's all Jake live for is the next hoorah. You know, Jake, they don't stand up for anything probable. You see, but anyway, precept here. Let's get me, I'm gonna go back to this Ezekiel. I'm gonna go back to this Ezekiel. Give me, it's a lock here, brothers. It's been a very, very rough week, man. Very, very rough, but we gonna get through it. Yep. So this is the book of Zechariah 13, Zephaniah 3 and 8. It says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, says the Lord." It says, until the day that I rise up to the prey. It says, "For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger." It says, "For all the earth should be devoured with the fire of my jealousy," and that's the determination. So in the article is that specified that, well, this is due to Biden, but this is really Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's program. Biden just a puppet that the Lord is using on the left-hand side to push this agenda, man, because, hey, the Lord is ready to get us, man. He's ready to come and get us. He's ready to establish the kingdom and set up Yahweh Shai on high, okay, like we all should be anticipating, all right? If you're not looking for the coming of Yahweh Shai, then you're not in the right spirit. All right, so anyway, going back to the book of Ezekiel 38, where we at? Ezekiel 38th chapter. It says the prophecy about Gog and future invasion of Israel. See, and it shows you that the West is going to be destroyed, and it shows you that the land of Israel is going to actually be destroyed too and invaded. Okay, but it's going to be built up because that's going to be where the kingdom headquarters is going to be established in the land of Israel. But it says here, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief of Meshech and Tubal, and prophecy against him. Okay, and thus says the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief priest of Meshech and Tubal. All right, so let's look this up. Mashakah, which Meshech means drawing out. Okay, and the Lord is actually drawing out these nations for war. It says, Hebrew word, Mashakah, Mashara. And it says, son of Japheth, grandson of Noah, and progenitor of the peoples of the north to the north of Israel. Descendants of Meshech often mentioned in connection with Tubal, Magog, and other northern nations, including Moshki. It says a people in the borders of Koshi and Armenia. Okay, you can look up the history on that. See something here. Yep. So, but it says here in prophecy against him, and say, thus says the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army and horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Okay, so this is talking about World War III. This is talking about the assembly and the gathering of all the nations coming together to fight the West, with the West totally being destroyed in nuclear destruction. Okay, it says Persia, when it says all of them handling swords, which is going into your military equipment, your nuclear weapons, because this war will become nuclear once the CHIP is passed, which I could see that happening any day now, because they're talking about going global, digital Salakia in about another month. But, we'll see how that plays out on his side. Esau, he likes to put things out there, then he redact on them, so we'll see. But it says Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands in the house of Togarmah, and the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Okay, you got Gomer, which I believe that was Turkey, if I'm not mistaken. And you got the hands of Togarmah in the northern quarters, those northern nations up there. Okay, China, Russia, Iran, Libya, okay, North Korea, and many people with thee. But it says, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that be assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Okay, and that's the point. It says, be thou a guard unto them, meaning that this is a war between two major superpowers. Just like America got NATO and the EU. Okay, they got Poland, France. They got Britain. Okay, they got Australia. They have those particular Western nations that's going to back them. But America is pretty much the big superpower that's going to clash for Russia. Okay, with those nations coming to its aid until, America does something stupid, according to Revelation 17. All right. So it reads here. It says, meanwhile, the Chinese are using increasingly harsh words to describe the U.S. involvement in the war in Ukraine. And they are involved in it. They're the ones that was behind it. They put this narrative out there that Putin is the one that invaded Russia. But you have to understand, Ukraine was part of the old Russian Soviet Union. That's all part of the same conglomerate, same land, so to speak, and, it's different reasons on why he invaded. But the main one that stands out to us is the fact that, we found out that Biden or America or the West had biolabs down there. Okay. And they was basically recruiting the Ukrainians to join NATO so they can have a military presence set up on the Russian border, okay, which would keep them at bay so they can invade, okay, because if you have a NATO presence at the Russian border, he can easily take Iran that way. He can take the land of Iran and set up his central banks and his democracy there, okay. But it says, and the Chinese are now calling for the UN to investigate the destruction of the Nord Stream pipelines. And I did a video on that last year stating that how America was behind it. You can probably find it on his page or GMS Casey Priest or Casey Living Waters, one of them. But I did a video on it. I may upload it again, but did a show on it. But it says at the UN Security Council briefing on Tuesday, Chinese Ambassador Xing Zhong said China shared the position of many countries in calling for an investigation to uncover the truth and to identify who's responsible. And everybody know that America's responsible for the shit, man. Okay. It says, so why would China request such an investigation? It says, because they know that we did it. And so that they know that we did it. And they know that we know that they know we did it. But it says, thanks to Seymour Hersh, the whole world now knows that the Biden administration was behind one of the biggest terror attacks in modern history. They're behind every fucking terror attack, man. Okay. From 9/11 to the fucking pipeline to this to goddamn what happened over there in Ohio, okay, out there in Detroit, down there in Kissimmee, Florida. They behind. America is the biggest progenitor of terrorism in the fucking world. Okay, matter of fact, let's get that, man. Psalms 94th chapter. I think it's Psalms 94 if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 97, and I'm going to start at verses 20. Matter of fact, let's start at verses 21. It says, they gather themselves together against the souls of the righteous and condemn innocent blood. Nope, that isn't. That's not it. That's a good one, but that's not it. It's not the one I'm looking for. Salakia, 91. I think it's Psalms 92. Man. Come on, go over. Oh, Psalms 140 and 2. I was way off. Yep, this is the book of Psalms 140, and I'm going to start at verses 2. It says, deliver me, O Lord, from the presence of the evil man. Preserve me from the violent men, okay? Because we know that this man has been behind majority of the attacks on the planet Earth. We even believe that he had something to do with what happened in Turkey with that earthquake, because they pretty much turned down the partnership of NATO, which is prophecy, by the way. It says, which imagine mischiefs in their hearts. It says, continue they are gathered together for war. It says, continually they are gathered together, and terrorism is an act of war, especially when you're doing it on a foreign soil. It says they have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips, man, okay? Because that's what Esau does. He's a warmonger. That's what it tells you in Revelation, the 6th chapter, Revelation 6, that 6, and I'm going to start at verses 4. It says, when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, okay? And that's the point. Esau has been a warmonger. He has not seen peace since he's been a nation. Since he's been established in rulership, this man has not seen any type of peace, okay? Just like Alexander, he fought wars damn near up until he died, man. And then after he died, you had a war among his generals, you know, infighting whatsoever, because, you know, when he came into power, evils multiplied in the earth. It says, thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and that was given to him a great sword, okay, which is war. Last precept, 2 Judges 15, and I'm gonna start at verses 29, 28. It says, behold, a horrible vision in the appearance there from the east. It says, where the nations and dragons of Arabia should come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them should be carried as the winds upon the earth, that all which they hear may fear and tremble. The dragons of Arabia are Ishmael. It says, and the Chimenians, which is the Iranians or the Persians, raging in wrath, should go forth like wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and they shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. The Assyrians are the Babylonian Americans, man. It says, and the dragons shall have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and they should turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. And then these should be troubled, bled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them, and consume some of them, and all that host should be fear and dread and strife among kings, man. Okay, so that's the point. This is going to be fought with nuclear artillery. Okay, so hey, get ready, brothers, man. The Lord is getting ready to make some heavy power moves out here. Just got to continue to pray and watch. But anyway, I'm in it there, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And with that, shalom and a